Welcome to the Hot Slice, brought to you by Pizza Today magazine. I am creative director Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor of Pizza Today, Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Hey Josh, I felt like we just did this yesterday, maybe. I don't know. Right. I don't know. We just did this, but that's okay.
We're gonna do this every day.
I know, right? I love it. I love talking to our operators and having a good time. So by the time this airs, we will be well into National Pizza Month. So happy National Pizza Month, everyone. I hope you rock those sales and just have a fun and great month.
You know, it's the best month of the year for many reasons. But more importantly, it is, National Pizza Month, October.
Absolutely. And there's one cleaning house thing that I need to talk about real quick, and that is our pizzerias to watch list. The questionnaire is out and available. I'll put the link to it in the description. Please, no matter if you were in our list last year, because we're rebuilding this whole list system from scratch. Like it's like starting a whole list structure over again. So doing that, we want as many pizzerias to complete this as possible, so that we can really, find and highlight those pizzerias. So the questionnaire is going to be available. It's going to ask you a lot of things. We are not basing this list solely on sales. We're looking at things on like how your sales have improved year over year. We're looking at things like marketing, community outreach. We're looking at your menu. We're looking at everything, your social media. We're taking it all into account because we want a great system where we can really highlight the pizzeria community as a whole, and not necessarily looking just at year over year highest sales volume. So this list is more about who's doing things right and who we want to let shine.
And how can our listeners find that form, Denise?
Okay, well, I'm going to put it in the description here, but it'll also be at pizzatoday.com. And in fact, you just reminded me, I'm going to put a link to it on the front page. So it'll be up in the front little rotator on the front page. So I'll put that in there. It'll also be, I'll have it in this week's, it will be in yesterday's Pizza Today Weekly. It's so weird future casting with this, but yes, so it'll be in this week's Pizza Today Weekly, so you can look for it there. When the digital edition, when you get that email, I'm going to put it in there as well. So there'll be links to it everywhere, and just get out there and fill it out, because we're going to be needing to turn those around pretty quick. So if you're going to do it within the next week or so.
Sounds good. So let's get to our guest today.
Yay.
He is a fixture within the pizza community. Probably one of the first pizza people that I met in the industry, going back to 2007 when I went to my first Pizza Expo. And that is Pizza Man Dan Collier.
Oh, we love Pizza Man Dan. He has right now just opened his 9th Pizza Man Dan in California. And he has a new concept, which I'm not going to really talk about right this moment. But he's got a new concept that is very diverted from what he normally does. Like he's a very carry out, delivery, dine in kind of guy. And this is definitely not that. So I guess the teaser is, listen to him talk about the concept that he opened, and it's, and he's going into that LA market. So he's going into what do you say, 5 million people,
1.3 million people within like a 3-4 radius.
Okay, yeah, that's insane. Like that's a huge market to have access to. So we wanted to get him on because he had some news about how his concept is moving, or not moving, but how it's growing and what's happening with his business. And he, of course, is always his knowledge base is just intense, and we always are sitting here like, okay, should I be taking notes? Is this a note thing?
Right. He drops a lot of good content on employee retention in this So yeah, stick around for that as well. I learned quite a few things. So
Yeah,
yeah, fun listen.
absolutely. Well, let's get him on.
Looking to grow your pizzeria or restaurant? Then you'll want to try the power of a cloud-based POS system. With Hunger Rush, you'll get everything you need. This fully integrated restaurant management system allows you to easily streamline operations, accelerate the delivery process, and grow your business through Hunger Rush 360 marketing. And it's so easy to use. Want AI-powered text ordering? It's built in. Need to track orders? No problem. Schedule a personalized demo at hungerrush.com today. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. With extraordinary pizza cheese comes extraordinary rewards. Only Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese offers the Gold Club Rewards program with monthly cash back on every cheese purchase. Members also receive funds twice a year to use in their exclusive marketing store. It's their way of saying grazie to customers. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice and discover how rewarding Baccio Exceptional Italian Pizza Cheese can be. Pizza is your legacy. Build it with Baccio.
Okay. All right, Pizza Man Dan. It's so good to see you.
Making the return to the Hot Slice podcast. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Josh.
Right on. So a lot's happened since we had you on the show last year. You are rocking and rolling with Pizza Man Dan's. What's been going on with the business?
Well, just this year itself, we opened 2 new locations. So we opened our 9th. These days, I'm going to call it brick and mortar because we have another concept we're doing as well. But we opened our 9th Pizza Man Dan's.
Okay.
And we're continuing that one we opened. We're continuing with our new type of restaurant, which includes a full bar. So we had not done that in the past, but this is our 3rd one with a full bar. And this is the best opening we've ever done. It's a town of only 30,000 people, but we opened at 50% more sales than I thought. And we're very pleased with that. And it was the biggest opening I've ever done. 30 restaurants over my career. It was the highest volume sales we've ever done in an opening. So very happy about that one.
What do you attribute that to? Can
whoever
you
pick a location?
Yeah. How did all of the worlds collide to make that just like the sweet spot of all your stores?
There's a point of momentum. We always open in consecutive markets. So by the time we're in the market that we're opening, everybody in the market already knows us. In fact, they might be traveling to get pizza from us at a location that's a little bit farther away. So we don't do any advertising anymore for opening. So that's the nice thing about consecutive markets. I get spoiled. You think back when we were smaller, every time we open a restaurant, we had to spend $50,000 on marketing. But now we don't spend a penny. As a matter of fact, when we open the doors, we're telling customers, shh, don't tell anybody. This is a soft opening. And of course, they get on their phones and are like, hey, get down here. They're open. And so I attribute it to the fact that it's a consecutive market. They know us. They're in anticipation of us coming. So that works well.
Oh, that's awesome. And the bar, with it being your 3rd restaurant with a bar, what have you learned going now to 3 bars that you didn't really know, when you opened that first one? What was something valuable there?
The most valuable thing is I did not understand how badly people behave when they're drinking.
It happens.
The first one we did full, we did full entertainment, dance floor, put in major sound system and light show. And we've actually backed off of that more towards a family bar environment rather than the nightclub environment. With the full nightclub, I had a security team of 12 and they couldn't even handle it. So we backed that down a little bit. So we basically gave away a lot of sales from the nightclub business because we I just didn't like the way it was going.
Yeah.
More
Oh, I
trouble than
got
it's
you.
worth.
More trouble. Yeah. And you have
Yeah.
something else
More
going
trouble.
on
I
this
just,
year.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the other location we opened is something that a lot of people were talking about at Pizza Expo. A couple of the guys gave talks on it, but the idea of a ghost kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's kind of two concepts in ghost kitchen. One is you're doing that within your own restaurant, and you have a virtual kitchen. So it'd be if Pizza Man Dan's had a brand like Beast Burger or one of those. Okay. And so you're just adding another brand within the same kitchen. In our case, it's a cloud kitchen, which means that it is a building in Los Angeles that has 40 kitchens in it. We lease a kitchen and we make the food, and it's all delivered by third-party platforms. Third-party drivers. It's ordered by third-party platforms, delivered by third-party drivers. And this is a new relationship for me because I'm so anti third party.
I was gonna say,
you can't imagine. I could go on a rant for days. Yeah,
I know.
because I'll never give them my brand, my Pizza Man Dan's brand.
Yeah.
So we looked at it and says, rather than give up an existing brand that you've worked hard to build, we created a brand that we can just give to the third parties, and I'm fine with that, because that's how third parties work. They're great for a new brand. They are abusive to an existing brand. Yeah.
I got you. Now, when did you open this? When did this ghost kitchen launch?
The ghost kitchen launched in July.
Okay.
So we've got a couple months under our belt, and
how's it going?
You know, it's a slow start.
Okay.
It's a slow start. We're learning a lot. We're learning a lot about technology. It's kind of like on this Zoom when the voice breaks up or the screen freezes. Technology is not always your friend. And getting into a business that is 100% dependent on technology is very interesting. We spend a lot of time on the phone with support. We spend a lot of time programming to get things right. So there are some challenges. And I've been spoiled, opening businesses that open up at $2 million a year or more. Yeah. And I'm starting this little business that, the first day we did 2 orders.
And you're starting a new brand.
So it's definitely
a new brand.
It's a new brand. It's like,
it's a new brand.
Now, how is it developing?
We call it
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, the brand is different. It's 999 Kitchens. And of course, in that environment, you've got sub brands. So 999 Pizza, 999 Subs, 999 Wings, that kind of thing.
Okay. Now, how is that developed? Because you've developed this brand and it's just honed in so well with Pizza Man Dan's. But with this new brand, how hard is it developing a brand specific to this type of an audience and this type of a market?
I chose Los Angeles because in a 5-mile radius, we have 1.3 million people. So we can make a lot of mistakes. I don't think I would try this in a small town because you can't afford to make mistakes in a small town with a customer. So the differences are huge. For Pizza Man Dan's, we're community driven, as most pizzerias are. Yeah. Whereas in a third party and world, you are only digital. The only thing the customer sees is pictures of the food. They don't even see your employees. They're seeing a dasher or the Uber Eats driver. So you're measured on all the same things. Does the food taste good? Is the order correct? Do you have the food ready in 10 to 15 minutes? You're measured on all the same things, but rather than being measured by a person face to face, you're measured digitally through Yelp apps and through Google and these things. And those measurements set your algorithm as to whether you're going to be successful or not. If you fail in the algorithm, you're so far down the list, no customer will see you because there's 1,000 other restaurants that are above you. So it's very challenging, and you can't buy your way to the top. You can spend money on marketing, but you can't buy your way to the top because everybody would do that, right? Yeah. So everybody wants to, so it's not possible. So it's very challenging, and building a new brand in that environment is proving harder than I thought.
And I can imagine in LA, the LA market is probably huge when it comes to that kind of thing with the digital restaurants. So being able to set yourself apart, like, how is that even into the question? You know, how can you do that, like, through these third party? Like, how are you able to even really stand out?
That is a good question. So our initial standout is price point.
Okay.
When you say 999 pizza, that's a price point.
Yeah.
When you say 999 subs, that's a price point. So we decided to have this 999 family of food, and we're going 24/7. So that differentiates us as well.
Yeah.
It's nice going 24/7 where you only have to worry about staff and crew inside. The most difficult part about 24/7 delivery is staffing a driver, driving around the middle of the night. Whereas the third party companies have a staff for that, no problem. And you know, we're a mile and a half from USC, so there's a lot of college opportunity.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm thinking. We started with this price point, but I'm thinking that there's nothing new in the world. I'm thinking that to be successful in that market or in any market, we're gonna have to use some of the same concepts to differentiate ourselves as we did with Pizza Man Dan's. We are going to have to do the guerrilla marketing. We are going to have to hit the streets, hit the businesses, hit the college campuses by stepping out of our front door. And again, we're spoiled with Pizza Man Dan's. We didn't have to do that in the last couple of locations. But with this new market, we're going to have to go right back to the drawing board. And I believe we're going to discover, we're not there yet, but I believe we're going to discover that to make this business successful, it's no different than any other pizzeria.
Yeah. Wow. So moving forward, do you feel like that once this maybe takes hold that that you'll build more of these, or is really the focus on growing Pizza Man Dan's?
So Pizza Man Dan's is a restaurant of passion, or a business of passion for me. That is named after me, so I'm the mascot. We are in the process of, I've got people who worked for me for 10, 20, 30 plus years as managers. And so we're in the process of franchising out to those people. We don't bring in people from outside. So my goal is that every single Pizza Man Dan's is owned by one of my managers. And we just manage this corporation. I got a central phone center, a central commissary. So we're able to control a lot of things and give them the support needed for them to be successful. So that way, rather than being a manager for the rest of their life, they own a business. In fact, the location we just opened is the second location for my first franchisee. So she managed for me for 10 years. She became a franchisee, and she's done so well with that when I opened this, I could have opened it as a company store, or I could have opened it, and I just approached her and said, hey, I think you're ready for this. Gabby, she and her wife, Myra, both were managing together, and both of them are capable. So one of them went to the new location, and they're killing it. So that's what's happening with Pizza Man Dan's. But we're not, that's a local brand. And so to go national, there's so many Pizza Man in the world, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that you can really trademark. It's not, a lot of pizzerias do this. Tony's Pizza, right? Everywhere in the world, right? So we are trying to develop a brand in 999 kitchens that is scalable.
Okay. That's awesome.
So if you see,
locations
if you
are
see 100 of these, we've got 9 Pizza Man Dan's.
Okay.
Now, what I'm curious about, like with with Pizza Man Dan's and this 999, you as how are you able to like juggle everything? Because I know you are a very, very busy man, and you even like get time for travel. So I do love that about you, that you take your time for yourself. But how are you able to hold all these balls in the air?
Good people.
Good people.
That's I traditionally I only take one trip a year. My wife and I go scuba diving somewhere for a couple of weeks. But this year we had canceled a bunch, but we'd pay for it prepaid. So they were put off due to COVID. And they all
Yeah.
landed and they all said we had to go in the first 6 months. So we took 4 trips in the first 6 months, and my crew held it together beautifully. I've got
Yeah.
my right-hand man's Fred, and he ran things, took care of business, and there were no issues while I was gone. It was really, or the issues there were taken care of. So it's all about people. This entire business is about people. You know from your seminars and talks at Pizza Expo, the biggest thing is, oh my gosh, I can't get the right people. And if we could all, I'm very pleased that we're able to figure that out. And it's never been a big issue for us. It's always like anybody else, it's a top priority. But we've got really good people, and that's the only way you could ever take a day off.
Well, having great people is the most important thing. And you said you've had some of those people for 20 plus years. What do you attribute what do you think you attribute it to, like some of the steps that you've done to keep those people for that long?
Years and years ago, I looked at a study that the restaurant industry did, and it had these 10 items that were of import to employees, to your team members. And they ranked them on a scale of 1 to 10. And then they asked the manager what they thought was important to these same team members. And this is what you saw.
Yeah.
In other words, the number 1 that the manager thought was the number 10 for the employee. And the number 10 that the manager thought was the number 1 for the employee. So the key is understanding and understanding each of those employees, and they're all unique, but they really fall into 2 groups. In the pizza business, they fall into 2 groups: those who are short term and those who are long term. And you have to treat them differently because they have different priorities. A long term person is going to expect regular evaluations, raises, opportunities, growth. A short-term person is going to expect schedule flexibility, organization, the ability, manager organization for a team so that they can the employee can take off time whenever they want. People to cover because their lives change every day and they need that day off all of a sudden. So their priorities are the short-term people, students, second job, is so different from somebody who's a full-time employee from you. You got to treat them differently. You have to understand each of them. Yeah.
That's great
Josh,
insight.
you just played right into Pizza Today content with your question, because I had Dan do an article on employee retention, and we're talking about this very subject, and he has nicknames for those short-term and long-term employees. By the way, it's going to be in the November issue. So
cool.
Do you want to tell them what the nicknames are for those 2 different groups?
Yes. So a short-term person in the millennial world, or whatever that next generation is, they have a term called cuffing. Cuffing is kind of like, it's handcuffs is where the base comes from, but it's single people who cuff up, meaning attach themselves to somebody before Valentine's Day because they don't want to be alone during Valentine's Day. Then they uncuff and go back to being single afterwards. So a short-term person is very much like a cuffer. All right. They are coming to you with a need, a short-term need, and you are providing that short-term need. And then at some point they're going to move on and do other things. And that's okay. That's what minimum wage is all about. It's an entry-level job, or it's a temporary job. It should not be a living wage. It never will be. You can make minimum wage $500 an hour. It will not be a minimum wage. It won't be a living wage because the economy adjusts to minimum wage. So this job has to be something that works for both of you during that cuffing period. And then they grow. Maybe they grow within your company and decide to become the other group, which I call Barneys. And the only people who get the Barney thing, and I don't have kids. Well, I have 275 kids, but Barney is the dinosaur on the
Purple
cartoon.
dinosaur.
Yeah. And so dinosaur has been around for a long time. So that's where I came up with the nickname for my Barneys. My Barneys are people who are around for a long time. They expect evaluations, raises. They expect to be able to grow within the company. They expect to be challenged within the company. They expect to enjoy their work every day. Those are Barneys.
Yeah. See, I love that. So y'all can read that in the November issue, because we've got it in. It's already been put into that November issue. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a good read. You know, Dan, the cool thing about you have a brilliant mind when it comes to, there's not a lot of people that can do what you do, and that is like you're a teacher, you're an educator within the industry, but you have the ability to break it down and teach what you know to other people. Is that something that you learned from somebody else, or is that something that you just kind of honed in and developed because you really had a passion for it?
Or is it just simply natural?
Just natural, yeah.
Have you, in the pizza industry, when you walk into a restaurant and you observe the crew and the management, you know right away the managers that are exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us know intuitively, but if we break down that intuition, it's because that manager is talking. They are either training or they are coaching, but they don't see that you train somebody and then you stop talking about work. So a great manager doesn't train somebody how to make a pizza and then spend every day after that talking about the greatest movie they've seen or who's dating who. The great managers, after they're done training, realize that every day, every transaction with that person is a coaching opportunity. And so when I see people who just talk a lot, I love it. Those are the people I want to put in charge. The introverts don't really work well as management because they feel like employees should just do their job. And that isn't it. It's the people who are constantly talking. And so I just try to emulate that. I'm not at work as a social engagement. I'm at work to make sure that food, it's very difficult to make great food every day, every time. So you're always working on that. Yeah. And so to me, that's the difference between training and coaching. And that's what I try to teach my people is you can't just train somebody and walk away. Mm-hmm. The reason, so favorite story is a general. General goes out on the battlefield watching at 6 o'clock in the morning. He's got to get up at 4 to be there. And he's watching the exercises out on the battlefield, just the training. And his right-hand person is standing next to him and he says, General, why are you coming out here every morning? Why do you get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, come out here and watch these troops? They're perfect. Why do you get up? And he says, I get up to make sure they're perfect. And that's exactly what it is. We come to work to make sure our people are exceptional. If we stop coming to work, it's why this business is a hands-on business. The minute you walk away from that, you're no longer seeing that, and it will no longer be exceptional. So with that philosophy, that drives me at work. That helps me to understand how to build a team and how to build a company.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
Josh,
we just got a mini session right there.
I know, right? What question do you want to go out on, Josh? I know you've got a question you've been dying to ask. What do you want to go out on?
Well, how's the Corvette? And is
yes.
She hums. Just a beautiful sound when I'm driving in that. The nice low vibration, the guttural sound of a 454 engine. The only challenge is when I drive it to Vegas, I get out of the car and I'm still doing that for a couple hours.
Yeah, I know she's getting up there in age, so it's like I still got to check on the Corvette because it's an integral part of the whole pizza community, the whole pizza world. So
I love that. All right. Well, we've taken a lot of your time today, but man, wow, you're always a pleasure to talk to. You always bring the knowledge. We're so glad that we got to bring you on the show and get an update on what's going on with you. I can't wait to hear more about what happens as you grow this ghost concept and work forward. That's awesome, man.
It was great catching up with the two of you. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you in Las Vegas.
Yeah, see you then.
All right. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.